many trends going on in the financial service technology market at the moment. A lot of them are driven by the same things. They're driven by computing capacity, by the availability of data, and by new architectures. So if we look across some of the things that are happening that I'm seeing at the moment, I think one of the key areas I'd look at would be financial crime and fraud. We're seeing a lot of movement there, particularly with the sort of advent of AI, and I'm sure you would expect me to say AI. But really what we're seeing there is the ability to put the power of computing into the hands of people that didn't have that level of computing before. So we're seeing a lot of deep fake capabilities in financial crime. We're seeing fraudulent emails, transactions, even videos or takeovers of processes that are being driven by this computing capacity on demand. And what that's meaning to our vendors and to the industry as well is that they're trying to stay ahead of that. When we're seeing a shift away from, yes, we're still doing rules-based processing, but we're also seeing a lot of work now on anomaly detection and looking at, is that really the way a human being would behave, or is there something else going on? And we're seeing that kind of thing moving out across the industry, not just in financial crime. If we look at, say, credit, another key area that we're looking at for this year, a lot of investments going into how can we use technology? How can we use this processing capacity? How can we use this AI? And I keep saying AI in big quotes because a lot of it is actually good old machine learning and programming and predictive analytics being presented in a way through a large language model. But we're seeing people use that to be able to sift through and look for trends that would take longer to have found before, looking for bias and trying to control bias in the models, especially in the AI space, and trying to provide a more coherent, a more available and fairer landscape. That's a key thing that we're going to be seeing going forward. Behind that, of course, then raises the question of how do I know that these models are behaving how I thought they were behaving? And so I think we're going to see a lot of trends in the next few years around model validation, AI governance, what those guardrails look like. And people will say, there's a great revolution coming. It's the same controls that people are trying to put in place, but for a different structure, a different area. I'll probably stop there. I'm going to give you a brief view there, just only. But I think the key things that are going on are this compute capacity being available, the rise of the large language models being applied. But I think the other thing that people need to think through is just like every other revolution that's come along, the revolution is building on the foundations that came before. And the AI is really a way of presenting the information that's coming from those complex analytics, complex data structures, and complex processes. So yes, there's a lot of revolution coming, but it's based on what's come before. So you're going to see a lot of the leading players that existed before expanding and growing into these areas as they're driven there by the new players coming. Lots to see in the next few years. Follow us with Chartis as we follow the trends.